Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. Welcome back to the channel guys, I hope that all of you are doing well. Today's video is going to be about two very good offerings from the house of Lattafa. One of them is very similar to a few famous designer fragrances, and that one is called Qaa'ed Intense, and the other one is a very unique and original Lattafa creation that's called Badee Al Oud Honor and Glory. Both offer very good quality, both offer very good performance. So let me tell you more about them today. Firstly, I'm going to talk about Honor and Glory from the Badee Al Oud line of fragrances. The fragrance comes packaged in this white colored box with golden accent that looks really nice and elegant. On the front you got the name of the fragrance, Honor and Glory, the name of the company, Lattafa. Down there you get the name of the line of fragrances, Badee Al Oud. On the back you get some additional information, a sticker of authenticity, and on the bottom there's a production date. In my case the production date is November of 2023. And once you take out the bottle, this is how the bottle looks. It has exactly the same bottle design as all other members of the Badee Al Oud line of fragrances, but here the color combination, again like the box itself, is white and golden. The note breakdown of Lattafa's Honor and Glory has the following notes. The top notes are pineapple and creme brulee, the middle notes are cinnamon, benzoin, turmeric and black pepper, and the base notes are vanilla, sandalwood, cashmeran and moss. I'll show you the sprayer of Honor and Glory, Badee Al Oud's Honor and Glory in action, and then I'll tell you about the scent of this fragrance. The sprayer is actually very good, puts a good amount of juice out. And now onto the scent of this fragrance. As I said in the beginning of the video, this fragrance is a very interesting and unique creation from the house of Lattafa. As soon as I spray this fragrance, I get a blast of the pineapple note, which feels sweet but at the same time quite fresh, and it's a very interesting way to use a pineapple note in a fragrance, at least in my opinion. You also get quite a lot of that gourmand sweetness from the creme brulee note, and this mix of the pineapple and the creme brulee is really interesting and unique in my opinion. There's a hint of pepperness in the opening, also quite a bit of a cinnamon note that adds some spiciness to the opening of this fragrance, and in the background you can feel quite a lot of vanillic sweetness as well. So the opening is fresh, gourmand, with a hint of pepperness, some spiciness from the cinnamon, and quite a lot of vanillic sweetness. When this goes into the dry down, you lose the freshness, that fresh aspect of the pineapple note, and the dry down becomes a lot sweeter. The creme brulee note is still there, the cinnamon is still there, the vanilla note becomes stronger and stronger, and this fragrance becomes quite a lot sweeter and more gourmand on the dry down. On the dry down, I'll also pick up a hint of mossiness from the oak moss note, some creamy woodiness from the sandalwood note, and maybe a hint of the cashmeran as well. It's a very interesting and unique fragrance that is pretty much perfectly unisex in my opinion, and to be honest doesn't remind me of anything. Which brings me to the next point in this video. Is this an inspired version of something or not? And to be honest, I don't really find this to be close to anything that I've tried or used before, so I think this is a unique Lattafa creation. When it comes to the performance of Badee Al Oud Honor and Glory, it's been a very good fragrance, very good performing fragrance. I've been getting somewhere between 7.5 up to 8 hours of good performance, with a nice amount of projection in the first hour and a half, maybe up to 2 hours if you overspray a little bit. So performance wise, it's a good performing fragrance. Price tag, I paid about slightly less than 30 euros, I think 27-28 euros here in Europe, which in my opinion is a pretty decent deal. And when it comes to versatility, it's a pretty versatile fragrance. The scent profile is quite fresh and light, and definitely I think this works a little bit better in the warmer months of the year, but you can pretty much wear this all year round because it has a nice amount of sweetness as well, and also a nice amount of performance, and all around I think this is a pretty much perfectly unisex scent. So it's a very versatile offering from Lattafa. And now let's talk about the second fragrance featured in today's video, Lattafa's Qaa'ed Intense. The fragrance comes packaged in this cylindrical looking box that has a sort of a leathery finish to it. It comes in this dark brownish color. On the front you got some silver accents, you get the name of the fragrance, the name of the company, you get the Lattafa logo that's engraved on the top. a sticker of authenticity on the back, some additional information on the bottom, and there's also a production date, which in this case is October of 2023. And once you take out the bottle, this is how the bottle looks. It has exactly the same design as the other members of the Qaa'ed line of fragrances, but here the color combination is sort of this dark green color with some silver accents. The cap is a snug fit, you get a secure click. The bottle has nice heft. All around I really like the packaging and the bottle design of Qaa'ed Intense from Lattafa. The note breakdown of Qaa'ed Intense from Lattafa has the following notes. The top notes are tobacco, white honey and cinnamon. The middle notes are vanilla, cacao, patchouli and myrrh. And the base notes are amber, French labdanum and styrax. I'll show you the sprayer of Qaa'ed Intense in action, and then I'll tell you about the scent profile of this fragrance and what I pick up out of this one. The sprayer here is again pretty decent, although puts a nice amount of juice but doesn't have a wide distribution, and I prefer the sprayer of Honor and Glory, to be honest. And now onto the scent of Qaa'ed Intense from Lattafa. This fragrance opens up very powdery and very sweet. I pick up a dry tobacco note in here, quite a lot of sweetness from a honey note. There's a hint of spiciness from the cinnamon, quite a lot of vanillic sweetness as well. I pick up the cacao straight after I sprayed this fragrance, and also I pick up just a hint of a boozy note that's not very strong, doesn't last very long, but it's here in the opening, at least to my nose. This thing doesn't have an iris note listed in the note breakdown, but I definitely pick up an iris note. I'm not sure if the combination of all the other sweet notes in here come across as an iris note, or if there's actually an iris note in here, but in my opinion there is an iris note in here that adds even more powderness to the opening of this fragrance. The opening is very sweet, feels very dry, and at the same time feels really, really powdery. When this fragrance goes into the dry down, you lose a bit of that powdery feel that you get out of this one, the strong powdery feel that you get out of this one in the opening. The dry down becomes a little bit more sort of balsamic compared to the dry opening, a little bit less powdery and quite a lot sweeter. On the dry down, the vanilla note becomes really, really strong, the cacao note becomes strong. There's also, you're introduced to some ambery sweetness as well. And all around, this is a very, very sweet, fragrance. The tobacco note is also there in the background, and although this is not as powdery on the dry down as it is in the opening, still it's a very powdery scent on the dry down, and you really need to like powdery scents in order to enjoy Qaa'ed Intense. When it comes to how close this is to something original, as I said in the beginning of this video, this sort of draws its inspiration from a couple of very famous designer fragrances. The strongest, sort of similarities between this and designer fragrance is the one that's called Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé. It's very, very similar to Reserve Privé, although feels a little bit more powdery than Reserve Privé and slightly less warm, because Reserve Privé has a stronger boozy note in it and also has a warm chestnut note, which Qaa'ed Intense is missing. This feels like a sweeter and more powdery take on Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé, but also especially in the opening, because of the amount of powderness that I get out of this fragrance, it can feel quite similar to something like Dior Homme Intense or Valentino Uomo Intense, but more like Dior Homme Intense. So it's not a straight up inspiration from anything definite, but it's more like they've taken a few different DNAs and mixed them together and came up with Qaa'ed Intense as a final result. When it comes to performance, another very decent performance, 7.5 to 8 hours of performance with moderate projection in the first about hour and a half. It's more of a intimate type of scent, but the total longevity is actually quite good. When it comes to the price tag, I paid about 23-24 euros, which in my opinion is pretty much a fantastic deal, because this has nice quality. It's a very refined scent profile and offers a very good performance. And when it comes to versatility, definitely a fragrance that's orientated towards the colder months of the year, definitely more of a nighttime scent. I think that this can really work as a dressed up night event scent, or something like a date night as well. It's a masculine fragrance, but because of the amount of sweetness and powderness that this has, I pretty much see no problem if a girl decides to wear this one. And at the end, a few final words about Badee Al Oud, Honor and Glory, and Qaa'ed Intense, both from the house of Lattafa. Badee Al Oud Honor and Glory is a very interesting semi-fresh, fruity, semi-gourmand scent that's really unique and it's not like anything else that I've tried out there. Perfectly unisex, offers very good performance and works pretty much all year round. You can wear this thing pretty much all year round. It's a very unique, interesting scent profile that also gets quite a lot of compliments, and performance wise it's actually pretty good, and also carries a pretty low price tag, and is one of the rare occasions where you get a unique and original scent from the house of Lattafa. On the other hand, I have Qaa'ed Intense, which is a very interesting mix of something like Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé and Your Homme Intense. Very nice, very dressed up, very sophisticated scent profile that has a lot of sweetness and a lot of powderness, and again offers pretty good performance. But in the case of Qaa'ed Intense, you really need to make sure that you like powdery fragrances in order to enjoy this one, because it's really powdery, especially in the opening. Both of them are really good, both of them have been really impressive, and both of them get huge likes from me. So guys, in today's video I showed you two top-notch offerings from the house of Lattafa. Honor and Glory from the Badee Al Oud line of fragrances and Qaa'ed Intense. Both of them have been really impressive. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me in the next one. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.